before Joe Biden took office, during the Trump administration, I was doing a lot of research. I was really interested in the mass migration that was happening in Europe. So I had been following that for the whole 4 years that Trump had been in office. And I knew the only thing stopping that from happening in the United States was Trump. Now, I'm not saying he's this savior. I don't have a God complex about him. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying he happened to recognize that we needed to have a closed border. And unfortunately, for whatever you want to say, the globalists, the weffers, whoever, unfortunately for them, he was standing in their way of the very same thing happening in Europe, happening in the US. When Joe Biden got elected, before he even got sworn in or anything, that was my biggest fear, was the border. I saw what he was running on. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what they were doing in Europe, and I knew that they could not wait for the same thing to happen in the US. Unfortunately, my fears were right. I was hoping they were not, but that was my biggest fear, was Biden opening up the border, and he did exactly that. Since that day, his first day in office, when he reversed everything that was working, I had been covering it every single day. What's happening on the border every single day. I have been covering this on whatever platform you follow me on. And I gotta say, I'm just at the point, I just watched a video. It's on my X, formerly known as Twitter, my little X page. I reposted it. It was a video out of Carlsbad. By the way, Carlsbad, California, it's a small beach community. That community was my second home for a long time. I'm very familiar with that community, very familiar with all of these little beach communities on Southern California, Encinitas, Oceanside, Carlsbad, La Jolla, like all these communities. So I watched a video of a boat filled with illegal immigrants land in Carlsbad, right smack in the middle of Carlsbad. A bunch of people jumped off, ran into the residential area, and then an SUV was waiting there and picked them up. I see stuff like this all the time. I just covered a story where Denver, Colorado, that entire city, the mayor literally told seasonal employees that their hours are going to be cut down to zero, and then he went and hired, you're not even allowed to call them illegal immigrants anymore, or asylum fraudsters, which is exactly what they are. You have to call them newcomers in Denver. And he went and hired this girl named Sarah. She has the same name as me, although she doesn't deserve it. He went and hired this girl who has a consulting firm. She's an immigration lawyer. Shocker. So she benefits on mass illegal immigration, obviously. He's paying her $175,000 a year. Literally a few weeks after he told seasonal employees that they have no more hours, he went and hired her and paid her $175,000 a year, which is at least 2, probably 3 seasonal employees. That's their salary. So Americans are literally being replaced at a rate. Our country the rug is being taken out from all of us faster than you can even fathom, and no one is doing anything. No one's doing anything. Maybe a few people are doing a little bit, but really, in the grand scheme, no one is doing anything. Nothing. Police turning, military turning, National Guard turning, political officials, they'll get together and ban tiki-talkies. They'll get together and send money for Ukraine, but they can't protect our own effing border. This is the most blatant corruption I have ever seen in my life. Usually they try to hide their corruption a little bit. Have you been to the airport recently? Who are you sitting next to on the plane? What an American dream to be able to afford to buy a plane ticket and get in an airplane and fly, and you did that for yourself. Oh, screw your American dream. Now someone can just break into your country and they get a free pass to wherever they want to go. Paid for by you. Paid for by you. I was watching a hearing on our border, on border security. You can't even make this up. I wish I could find it for you. Maybe I will. I'm too lazy right now. I was watching a hearing, and these hearing on the border, what's happening on the border, and I listened to 2 Democratic senators give their little opening, whatever you want to call it. And both of them, I don't know why, I think it was a budget hearing. I think that's why they brought it up. 2 of them brought up the fact that American women are having a hard time, their constituents in their districts are having a hard time affording child care. I couldn't believe what I just heard. Because I do agree, child care is very expensive. I don't have a child, but I've heard about how expensive it is, and that it's awful how expensive it is. But the only thing I could think of were, I wonder if those very same constituents that are complaining about childcare, I wonder if they are aware that people that just broke into our country are getting free childcare. Not only are they getting free childcare, you're paying for it. So you're paying for people that broke into our country to get free childcare while you can't even afford to pay for it yourself. And those same senators, Congress people, whatever freaking hearing it was, I don't even know. I've watched way too many of them, and they're all frustrating because nobody actually cares. They want you to think they care. They make it look like they care, but they don't actually care because no one's doing anything. They care about Ukraine. They care about them. They don't care about us. Those same people, if you bring up legitimate concerns, legitimate questions, they have no shame. They will gaslight you. They will call you every name in the book. They will tell you, you need to do your fair share. We need to help out. This is a shared responsibility. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're corrupt. That's why this is happening, because you are corrupt. You are so corrupt. You are so far gone. You are so corrupt that not only are you taking my country from me, are you jeopardizing my safety and my security, you're doing it to your own family. You're doing it to the very country that your children are growing up in. You are also stealing their future, because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, your political affiliation, where you live, your security detail, what gated community you live behind. This is going to negatively affect every single one of us, and that is the truth. But you have people that are so power hungry, that are so corrupt, they don't even care about that. They don't care. They do not care. And the reason we don't have more whistleblowers, the reason we don't have more people upset, is because people only care about themselves. How can I get enriched? How can I make money? That's why. Because there's a lot of people making a lot of money off this criminal racket. And that is exactly what it is. It is a criminal racket. And everyone who is involved is aiding and abetting, whether you want to or not, in a criminal racket. That's what you're doing. Good for you. And you're stealing the future of our children and the future of our country. That's what you're doing. Rant over. I could go on for a lot longer. I've been on this every single day for years, and it's just, I don't even know what to say to you. I cannot believe. I can't believe it's happening. I just cannot believe it's happening. And the people that we elected to put in office, our military, our National Guard, our police. Sorry. Our founding fathers were in their 20s and early 30s, most of them. And now, I don't know where the men are that are standing up for our country. I just don't, and it sucks. It's very sad. It's very sad.